Efron of Security Industry Specialists, Inc., out of Seattle, Washington, that worked through the Amazon Corporation as a professional gang stalker, as well as he was very well versed and educated on this hive mind technology, as well as synthetic telepathy and behavior modification. Once he came out and spoke out against it, he then became a victim of the targeted individual program himself. Now, this is probably the last of the targeted individual programs videos that I will be publishing, but I did want this in the TI and synthetic telepathy playlist that is on both this channel and my primary Ancient of Days YouTube channel. So you will see me on my main channel any day now. The studio is up and running. We got the camera working. Everything is 5x5, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. This is from 2020 with Brian Coffron, Security Industry Specialist, Inc., gang stalking, TI expert, and victim.
This is Brian Coffron, a.k.a. Justin Carter, of GangStalkerWars.com. I'm a former security specialist for Security Industry Specialists in Seattle, Washington. We had a contract with the Amazon Corporation, and it was on Amazon property where a massive social engineering program is taking place. It is a cover for a highly classified research and development program that tests technologies such as voice-to-skull, emotional manipulation, and total individual control technology. I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody who has reached out to me for your support. It has been overwhelming, and I am truly humbled and grateful for the response I've received from everyone. You're wonderful people, and those who are targeted individuals, I pray for you every single day. And you are the reason why I'm speaking out. This program has to be brought to an end, and it has to be done by insiders because it is protected by veils of secrecy that are impenetrable to the average American citizen. It is only people with security clearances, people within the military and the intelligence agencies of our country that are going to have the opportunity to stop this program. We need more insiders to speak out. That is the only way we're going to make progress against what is becoming a nationwide problem. The people within the military and intelligence services of this country do not put an end to this, and we have no choice but to take it to Congress. Contact your congressman, contact your senators, organize at the community level, and do whatever you can to bring attention to this issue. This will create in the general public an awareness of the topic that includes voice-to-skull, gang stalking, organized stalking, and what I am trying to reveal is social engineering. It is a highly illegal program. It is being abused by people who have no regard for the welfare of those people who are being experimented upon by technologies such as voice-to-skull, emotional manipulation, and total individual control technology. These people are looked at as lab rats and test subjects, and as a result, the effects of this program on them are truly devastating. They are isolated from society. Their physical and mental health is deteriorated to a point that is beyond repair. They are damaged for life by being unlucky enough to exist on Earth at a time when the American government values scientific and technological progress over the constitutional rights of American citizens. Unfortunately, according to U.S. law, it is actually legal for the federal government of the United States of America to experiment on its own population, on the American people, so long as they do so with non-lethal weaponry. This type of experimentation is being carried out against the American people each and every day. There are millions of Americans across this country that are crying out for help from their neighbors, from their family, from their friends, from their coworkers, and they are met with a wall of silence and confusion, as the general public is simply not educated enough on this topic to be able to offer any real help. Also, the people who are running this program are the most powerful people in this country, and therefore anyone like myself who tries to take action against them is in for the fight of their life. Progress is very difficult. These are our fellow Americans. These are our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers, our brothers and sisters, and they need our help. We need to stop this program now, to stop their suffering, to stop the torture, and to seek damages so that they will be compensated by the federal government for what the federal government has done to them. As part of the law that allows the federal government to experiment on the American people with non-lethal weapons, the government is allowed to do so so long as they fairly compensate the test subjects for the damages that are inflicted during the experimentation. There is no other way to interpret this law other than that each and every targeted individual in this country is entitled to financial compensation for the damage that has been done to them by the federal government of the United States of America. It is to this end, to relieve their suffering, to make sure that they are made whole for what the government has done to them, that I have decided to speak out. This program needs to be stopped, and the helpless victims need to be rescued. That is why I'm making the second podcast, to detail the names, locations, and addresses of some of the people and the sites involved in this program. It is my hope that by doing so, the American people, law enforcement, insiders within this program, and the federal government of the United States will take the initiative and visit these locations. These are going to be addresses that you can walk up to the front door, ring the bell, and ask, why in the hell are you people torturing and experimenting on my fellow Americans? Everybody I'm about to name and all of the addresses I'm about to give you and all the businesses that I'm about to name, I have direct knowledge of. I know personally, I have been to, and I've experienced their reaction to inquiries along these lines. As long as you are playing along as part of the program, as I did, unfortunately, as a security specialist, then you are in. You are accepted as one of their own, and there is a very jovial and sophomoric and very immature attitude in regards to the program that's being run. There is no sympathy whatsoever for the victims. They're looked at as cattle. They're looked at as lab rats. And there is a total attitude of invincibility by the participants in this program. They fear no detection. They have no worry at all that someone will come knocking on that door one day with a warrant for their arrest. And when you get the wrong kind of people operating in a context such as that, then the potential exists. And in fact, the reality exists, unfortunately, today, that they will abuse their positions of power. And they are doing so by experimenting on innocent men, women, and children all across America. If you have not done so, please listen to the first podcast I uploaded, titled Security Industry Specialist Tells All. Also, you can visit my website for more information, gangstalkerwars.com. There you will find a blog titled 157 Roy Street as a location of one of the homeless shelters where this despicable program is being carried out. It's a program that exists in several cities around the country. And please feel free to take this information and spread it far and wide across the internet. Give it to your neighbors, tell your friends and family about it. And contact your senators, your congressmen, and demand action. Demand that it stops now. Because since I have decided to speak out publicly about this, the people I used to work for have now turned this terrible program against me, and I am now a target of it. As a result, I have a very deep and personal understanding of what targeted individuals are going through all across this country. It needs to stop. They need to stop being tortured. They need to stop being experimented on by the government, by the people in government who are charged with their safekeeping. It is our law enforcement officers, our military, and our intelligence agencies. It is the fine men and women who serve in the armed forces. It is your responsibility to protect these people. You took an oath. Unfortunately, what's happening in America today is all of the people who have been charged with our protection have fallen asleep at the wheel. They have failed to live up to their oath. And either through complicity or complacency, they are either making or allowing this nightmare to occur on American soil. All it takes for evil to prosper is for good people to do nothing. And that is exactly what's happening today. As people who are crying out to family members and friends, to local law enforcement and the FBI, to their government, their military, to the private corporations who are involved in this for help, are being met with silence, or even worse, ridicule. They're being accused of being crazy. They're being accused of being paranoid and schizophrenic. And as I will detail in this podcast, mental health organizations are complicit in this, rendering false psychological diagnoses to completely cover up what is in fact a social engineering program and a covert research and development program for some of the most sophisticated and advanced technology that the world has ever seen. Before I name the people, places, and addresses involved in this program, I wanted to take the time to differentiate between the social engineering program that I am describing and have direct knowledge of as a result of my time as a security specialist, and the general information that is out there currently available to the public on voice to skull and organized stalking. The social engineering program that I have direct knowledge of utilizes a technology that is far more advanced than just your basic voice to skull technology. And the applications for this technology go far beyond the targeting of simply an individual in society, as horrible and unacceptable as that is. The social engineering program that I detail was born out of a research and development context that is run by the military and intelligence services of our country. This research and development program involves defense contractors, private corporations, the military and intelligence agencies of our country, private security contractors, and this entire program is of course overseen and run by the federal government of the United States of America. Within this research and development context, there's an application of voice to skull technology that is known as hive mind. It is currently many, many hundreds of years more advanced than what people are generally aware of. This hive mind application of this technology is being used in the military for things such as coordinating troop movements on the battlefield. It is a secure form of communication that is very difficult to hack when properly secured. This technology, as I've mentioned, can also be used to manipulate people's emotions and manipulate the actions of an individual. It can be used to manipulate the mind of an individual. By manipulating the mind of our troops, this technology can be used to enhance decision-making capabilities, to help our troops make faster and better decisions in the heat of battle when lives are on the line. It can be used to increase endurance and strength, to give our troops literally superhuman strength and superhuman endurance, so that they can be alert and ready to function at optimal capacity in the toughest of conditions. This technology can also be used to read the minds of other people. The intelligence applications of this are obvious, but it can also be used to read the thoughts of your fellow soldiers, so that communication can be done at the speed of thought instead of the speed of voice or sound. This can give our troops a tremendous advantage on the battlefield. In fact, when you start to understand the true implications of this technology and the applications of it in a military context, you begin to understand that what is unfolding within this research and development program is nothing less than the development of super soldiers. I think most people would agree that applications such as this within the context of our military are understandable, and most Americans would probably tolerate it. I certainly would, particularly research and development. One of the purposes of these programs is to make sure our enemies do not get an advantage in terms of technological capabilities. But when this sort of technology begins to spill over from research and development and military applications into the realm of normal society in the civilian context, then a very dangerous line has been crossed. And that is exactly what has happened in Seattle, Washington, and in the social engineering program that I am describing. When I first became aware of the social engineering program, I imagined those who were in charge of it to be people of great honor, respect, and dignity. I imagined them as old souls, people who had been through life, passed through the gates of initiation, proven themselves worthy, and thus were handed the keys to this truly miraculous and terrifying technology. I assumed that someone in the chain of command had taken the time to make sure that the people who were going to be put in charge of this technology and this program were vetted to make sure that they could handle the great responsibility that comes with being given such power. Unfortunately, as time went on and I became privy to more and more of the details of how this program is operated, I realized that this was simply not the case. No one had taken the time to make sure that these people were responsible enough to be given this great power. And indeed, the more I learn about the technology, the more I know that no one should be given the power to have access to this technology. It is too dangerous, it is too horrible, and the potential for abuse is too great. Once something like this has been let out of Pandora's box, there is no going back. And unfortunately, this technology is out and is being used all across our country against the American people. Far from being wise old souls who deserve this kind of power and responsibility and have been vetted and deemed worthy and proven that they're worthy to have this responsibility, these people are the exact opposite. In fact, they are jackasses. They are people with no dignity, no respect for their fellow human beings. They are juvenile, they are immature, and they are completely out of control. Many of them are intoxicated while at the workplace and in charge of this technology. Some of them are high, some of them are drinking beers while they are controlling this technology and monitoring the targets, the victims of this abuse and torture. Far from a serious setting where they're showing that they are concerned for the target or the victim, there's a general jovial attitude among those in charge of this technology. They're often intoxicated, and you can imagine them as having just smoked a bowl, gotten the munchies, eating a bag of Cheetos, and laughing at the target as they mess with them mercilessly, playing practical jokes, high school pranks, using the most sensitive, powerful technology in the world to make a game out of destroying people's lives all across America. It is infuriating, it is highly, highly illegal, and it must be stopped now. What these people have done is turned this technology into a video game, and that is exactly how they approach it. They approach it as though they are playing a cross between Sid Meier's Civilization on their computer and Sims, where they are controlling all of civilization and also controlling people on the individual level. This technology is actually being used right now, for all intents and purposes, as a multi-billion-dollar dating system, a dating game, where the people in control of it are literally playing Cupid and shooting arrows at anyone in society that they want, and making them fall in love with anyone else in society that they want. They are able to cause instant attraction with this technology by utilizing the emotion manipulation feature. This technology is so advanced and so sensitive that it can literally make you attracted to another human being and make another human being attracted to you. And in this way, they're playing matchmaker. They're playing Cupid and actually getting couples together and making them fall in love. They're also doing the opposite. They're also breaking couples up. They're breaking up families, husbands and wives. They're breaking up children from their parents. They're breaking up businesses and corporations. They're using this to manipulate society on every level for their own benefit and gain. And they are doing so with an attitude of complete immaturity and, for lack of a better word, downright evil. We're looking at this as a massive game and a massive joke that they're playing on the target and the American people. And to the targeted individual who is isolated, you can understand what a nightmare this is, as the complementary program of organized stalking isolates them from everybody else in their community, and they have nowhere to turn for help.